So, babe, when we crossed the $1 million revenue mark, I think we had, maybe less than 400 followers on Instagram?
That sounds about right.
Like our business account, less than 400 followers. I think on Facebook we had we've never had more than 100.
Ever.
I think we had to get a new one. Even the old one didn't have.
Yeah, because it was locked out
Yeah.
and we couldn't engage on there or anything. So
No.
it was just dead.
Yes, we didn't have TikTok. We just got TikTok just recently. I think that only has maybe 3 followers.
And luckily one of them is not my mom.
and we just got YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And not much going on there yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we did over $1 million in business. Actually, we did that a while ago. That we got the 2 Comma Club Award last September, right? Was it September?
Well, we qualified for it.
Yeah, way before that.
But yeah.
But I mean, we got the award,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, and so yeah, and then no ads really. We barely ran ads. I mean, to be fair, we did run ads occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
We spent like $300 maybe on a campaign, or $600.
You mean not $30,000?
No. We never have gone viral. Well, one time, a blog post that I did that I made into
it was good.
Yeah,
that was some good writing.
Yeah, but it wasn't like about our business.
No. It was about sports.
Yeah, but so all we focused on really is just getting results for our clients. Like really, real results, like really doing the things that we say we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we focus on. That's what got us where we are. People refer us. People enjoy the work we do. That's what we stand on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real results, real strategy, because we do really focus on branding.
Yes.
And our brand, which is most important, right?
That's what got us here.
That's what got us here. Not the hype, just real branding, real strategy, real results.
That's it.
This is the brand. This is the voice. This is the pain. They move by choice. Charles and John say we don't chase trends. Brand currency, where purpose begins.
Welcome to the Brand Currency Podcast, where we focus on branding and design in a way that actually makes sense for your business. My name is Charles McGill, and I am joined by my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm John C. McGill, his wife and partner in business.
Absolutely. Love you in yellow, babe.
Oh, thank you.
Looking
I love
good.
you in black.
Okay. All blacked out. All black everything.
That's right.
So we're going to get into it today. We're going to talk about, basically the myth of more, right? And how people assume that success, especially, like online, comes through things like fame, comes through things like followers, that all of those things combined is what equals the millions, right? And not to say that we are in the millions, because just to be fully transparent, we're not at a place where we're doing $1 million annually. But collectively over our time with our business, we've been in business now about 5 years. We've made roughly about 2 million so far. And so, things are going relatively well for our small business, right? Mm-hmm. Could it be going a lot better? Absolutely. There's a lot of people who will look at where we are and think to themselves, I would love to be where they are, right? And do the things that they're doing. Some people think they playing too small. They needed to be doing a lot more, right?
I am people.
Yes, and we will get there. But there's a reason why we're intentional about going slow. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why we're intentional about building it the way we built it, because we are focused on conversions, right?
That's right.
We're focused on conversions, not focused on necessarily getting everyone to notice us.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that, babe? Why do we do that?
Not everyone is our target audience. Not everyone is our ideal client, right? And we have learned that over the years.
Yes, we have.
Our clients are, we have there's a range.
Yes.
There's a range, but typically there are people who are really intentional about their brand, who understand the importance of having that foundation, of having that branding foundation, and who want to show up in excellence.
Yes. And the thing is, like, we really like understand that visibility is not the same thing as like being in alignment, right? People often misunderstand those things. Mm-hmm. They think that just because you have a lot of visibility or a lot of traffic, that you must be doing something right. You know, well, you're doing your marketing right, potentially, right? Because you got the traffic.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily convert to sales. Mm-hmm. We know a lot of people who have a lot of followers that struggle with making a sale. Mm-hmm. We're the opposite, as in we don't have a lot of followers and we generally don't have a problem making a sale. Honestly, one of our problems is that we could be selling more. Mm-hmm. We don't, just because we have some internal things we want to set the foundation on. But we've gotten to a place now where, because we focus so much on conversions, like you had mentioned, like the last 2 months, we were focused on really just being in alignment, not just alignment like with each other and our business, but alignment with God, like making sure that everything was in alignment, that we were being obedient, that we were, really, really like praying and sacrificing, fasting, all the different things that we did to make sure that we were really speaking to our audience and the people that we're meant to serve. Mm-hmm. And what we found is that being in alignment, it didn't increase our visibility. It didn't increase like our traffic. Mm-mm. What did it increase?
It increased our close rate.
It increased our close rate, our conversions. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. We've gotten to a place now where the last, I'd say 6 weeks or so, where, routinely we would close at maybe about 25%, roughly would be about that, maybe up to 30%. 1 in every 3 calls, people would sign up, or 1 every 4 calls. That's what we were used to. Now we've gotten to a place now where it's like, I would say, just like trying to not be too high, but like 75%, right? I mean, that's really what it's been like for the last like 2 months. Which has been amazing for us. We had one of our highest revenue months last month. We're doing really good again this month. And the difference has been, 100% has been the clarity, right? The alignment, right? And us not focusing on, getting more attention, but focusing on the experience our clients have.
Yes.
Our onboarding is better.
Oh yeah.
Our whole process for people to get started with us is better, right? From not only from a like experience perspective, from like what our clients experience, but also from a perspective of protecting us, right? We got our service agreements are tighter. Ooh. Our language is tighter about what, is allowed and not allowed. Mm-hmm. And, conventional thinking would think the more that you kind of, make things, tighter and clear, that you might actually turn more people off. Mm-hmm. But what we found is what?
People actually appreciate it. They're like, oh, this is clear. I understand what I can do, what I can't do, what you offer, what you don't offer. And they appreciate that.
Yeah. And since we're so transparent about it, like online, through our messaging, through our website, what do we find when people, finally get on a discovery call with us?
It clicks for them. The thing that they thought about us is reinforced when they get on a discovery call. So they feel, more reassured that they're in the right place.
Absolutely.
They're like, everything I thought about them is actually true.
It's actually true, right? And we take the discovery calls, right? So it's either going to be me or you, right? So they usually are attracted because they've seen you online. Let's just be honest. It's not me.
No, because you don't have time for all that.
So they usually see you, and if they see you, oftentimes they will see clips of me because, we do a lot of stuff together. So they'll know we're married, right? They know we're a couple. We know that we do business together. So they get a glimpse of our personalities. And then they get us on the call and they see that what?
It's really us.
It's the same people.
Same people.
We make the same jokes, same timing, right? We don't change it up, right?
That's it.
It's the same thing, right? And so that actually reinforces what they were expecting. And often they're actually pleasantly surprised that it is what they were expecting, because most of the time it's not, right? For some reason, right? People get on calls.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, I didn't think you'd be on the call. They
Yeah.
thought somebody else would
Somebody
take
else.
it.
That's right.
Mhm.
Let's talk people through what we did with our pricing too,
Okay.
because we've been through some iterations with that, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what do you remember about our pricing? You don't have to say numbers, just like in general, like what's been some of our angst, things that weren't working so well with our pricing.
So initially, I feel like we were offering more,
Yeah.
right? So we were charging more
A lot more.
because people were getting more value, right?
Yes.
So we were doing things like copywriting and,
Mhm.
doing the copy for their
Everything.
pitch decks and
Yeah.
presentation slides and their emails
Yeah.
and their social media. And that was a lot.
A whole lot.
So once we figured out that we were great at design, then we kind of switched to just focusing on that. So then the pricing changed, right? And so now that we just focus on that, it was kind of a set price, right? So we have an unlimited, our flagship offer is unlimited design at a flat rate. So that's graphics, funnels, websites, whatever your business needs. In-person design
Yep.
for your in-person event or online event, webinar challenge, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
It don't matter. We'll design it.
That's right.
So we had to figure out, what could something like this cost?
Mhm.
How could we really monetize our gifts and, the gift of the Panic Commission team? So that took a while. That
took a while.
initial pricing, when we initially launched the unlimited offer, because we had different packages.
Yeah.
So it was different pricing for each package.
It was still, yeah. And we were basing it off of what we saw in the market,
Mhm.
right? We were basing it off of different, people who were our competitors, and they had a lot of offers that were kind of scattered all over the place.
Mhm.
And we didn't really know like what was fair, what was right, but we just tried to be similar.
Yeah, and that was the tricky part too, because we were better, much better in terms of design and
Quality.
experience
Uh-huh.
and quality than most other companies that offer something similar.
Yep.
And then there are other companies that have way higher prices.
Yep.
But those were typically more established brands that had been around for years,
Yep.
and we were still kind of new.
Still kind of new, still trying to build our reputation.
Mhm.
But what we found is that when we had like all those different offers and those different little ways that people can work with us and like it didn't provide a lot of clarity in
Right.
terms of, like how people can fit in with us. Like
Mhm.
they didn't know and they were trying to figure it out. We were trying to figure it out. I found myself creating a lot of like, even though we had some set pricing, I still had to create these like invoices that were specialized and things like that because people just like, it wasn't clear. Right. And so one thing that we did is we clarified our offer, got really, and it figured out the right pricing. Honestly, I prayed about it. That's how it happened. I prayed about it and I felt like God just gave me the price.
Mhm.
And I was like, told you it. And it wasn't as high as you wanted,
No.
but it wasn't as low as it was before. So you were happy about that, but it felt like the right price. And, if it is priced right, what you'll see, and you guys will see this in your business, when you are priced right, you end up, finally getting rid of some people that were, maybe a headache, because they were taking advantage of your low price.
Yeah, that whole low price period, thankfully, it wasn't too long.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that was a short stint because it was like, when you offered that price, it was just headache after headache
It was.
because people didn't really see the value.
They didn't know the value. Not fully.
Not fully, yeah.
And often
They still thought it was too expensive.
Yeah,
For all the things that they could get for unlimited design, unlimited funnels, when there are people charging folks tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for a funnel and you're getting it for that price
yeah. And the thing is,
at that quality.
at that quality, that's the thing. The thing is like, because they were giving us their last.
Mm.
And so for them, they were like putting all their bet. And remember, we've talked about this before in other episodes where we talk about the difference between branding, marketing, and design.
Mm-hmm.
They were coming to us just for their design.
Right.
They didn't understand that that's all they were paying for.
Mm-hmm.
What they thought they were hopefully going to try to get from us was also branding and marketing. But we've never claimed that that's what we would do for them.
Ever.
We said, this is what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
But even like when things were still we were working through the clarity, I would say maybe we weren't super clear on that, right? Not as clear as we did, but we gotten better. So as we got better with our clarity and our offer and our pricing, then we started to see that people understood exactly how we fit in, right? So maybe they have a marketing team so that they have someone doing their ads that's thinking about their traffic. Maybe they have an established brand. And so they have a brand guy, they have a look and they have a feel. They need help with design,
right?
Meaning they need help with how they present their brand, how they present all of their things. And so they wanted to be more polished. They wanted to be, to look better. They wanted to, to attract more people. They wanted to have an emotional appeal. They wanted to, all those different things. And so they come to us and they know where we fit in that wheel, if you will.
Right. In how we fit into their ecosystem.
The ecosystem, exactly. That's the word I was thinking of. How we fit into their team too. Because they might have a designer. Some of our clients have a designer on staff. In-house. Yep.
Yeah. But they want to launch more.
Yep. Or like our clients sometimes need, help with their capacity, right? Their in-house designer may not be able to do all the things that they need in terms of like their projects. Maybe they got a webinar, they got an in-person event, they want to launch a new book, they got all this different stuff kind of in the queue, and they're in person, maybe just one person, and they just can't do it all. So they use us to, augment what they can do. So we increase the capacity, right? So we're like, okay, if you got all those different things, we can actually get all those things done, in a short amount of time, relatively short amount of time. So they can keep moving, right? They can keep doing those things. We also got really clear, not only with our offer, with the type of clients that we're serving, but we also got clear on our positioning. So one thing that we did, because early on, like I said, we were new in the game. So we decided to model ourselves after what seemed like to be the top in the industry. So we end up looking at different websites, looking at different positioning, and decided to kind of emulate a lot of what we saw, right, in our own way. And we found some success in that, but it still left us kind of unclear because it didn't come from us. And so we were like, man, like, what is it really, that we really want to do? But through those, iterations and through serving people and all that stuff, we figured out that we are a premium service, right? And since we're a premium service, we had to position ourselves as a premium brand. So what does it mean to position yourself as a premium brand? Can you share some insight into how, premium brands position themselves?
First of all, what we did was change our website because, it was like elements of what we saw in the market. But when you redesigned it in a way that really spoke to our current clients, right? You changed the copy. It's like, it's super clear now who we serve. When you go down to the pricing, it's clear, what your options are.
Yeah.
Right. And
there's like limited options, right? It's not, you really can't change much about it.
Right.
Other than like the number of active requests. So like one feature you can change from all three offers. It's like literally the same thing.
Like, this is what we offer. Just how much of it
exactly. We offer this one thing. Do you want two of them? Or do you want three of them? But it's the thing, right? That thing that we offer does not change depending on who the client is. It's just how much of it do you want?
Yeah.
And that definitely did help. So with premium, also what we did, and you mentioned it, our website, but we got clear on who we were talking to. You were kind of mentioning that you got clear on who we were talking to. And we did that through the copy, right? We did that through the design as well, because we understood that the look and feel had to be different. We actually got this from feedback from a potential client. And they said, because we asked, because they've been wanting to work with us, but they weren't sure that they wanted to move forward. And we asked, why, what was the thing they weren't sure about? And they said to us, because when I go to your website, you look like everybody else. And everybody else actually was making money. They had success in the business. So that wasn't necessarily a bad thing to look like everybody else. But that person has said, and I've already worked with those kind of companies and I had a bad experience. So since you look like everyone else, it made me assume that it would be like everyone else. And that hit us hard.
That hit us so hard.
Oh, because we prided ourselves in not being like everyone else in terms of the experience. But customers would only know that is if they actually signed up.
Right.
So they were, if they were coming from a place where they had already tried something similar, they were risking it. And it paid off for them, that bet that they made and that risk that they took. But, other people, they may not get past that front door, like that front website to be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to even try it. So once we figured that out, we changed it.
Yeah. And we even changed, our messaging online,
100%.
Our, not just the copy on our website, but also.
Which, by the way, we did like a lot of like intense, like rewriting over and over again, like, and we don't mind iterating. Like we've, even though like to the naked eye, it may not seem that we changed it, but we kept changing it. We kept changing the copy, kept reading it again. We wanted it to feel like like someone could literally, like our audience, if you're for us, you'd be able to start at the first line and read all the way down to the price and get an experience where you feel like we're talking directly to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what people say now.
And that's what happens. Yeah. It's funny because now we have those discovery calls and people will literally tell us that that's exactly what they did. They went to the website and they read it from top to bottom and they decided to book a call because we spoke directly to them.
Right. Even the way we've been curating our social media content, right? Like our Instagram page. You go there, it's designs we've done, but it's also 40 testimonials. And that was really intentional.
Yeah.
40 video testimonials.
Exactly.
Because we wanted people to not just take our word for it, but to hear from previous clients what their experience was.
Yeah.
And, what type of output we gave them. So
Yep. So we changed the messaging, website got clear. We also, updated our price. So we changed our price to reflect what we felt like was a more premium price. The pricing was kind of it was kind of a challenge for us. I'll admit that, right?
It almost took us to marriage counseling.
Dang, I didn't know you felt that way.
I really did, Charles. I was like, this man.
No, I know. It was a struggle because and the thing is, and to your credit, like you hold us in high regard in what we do, which is great. And I love that you do that. And you remind me to make sure that we're not undercutting ourselves. Because I'm the one with the generous heart. I'm the one that's like, let's work it out. Let's, this and that. And Johnson's like, nah, full price, and I love that. I love that about her because she has definitely helped us in certain times where we probably would have taken or accepted less or somehow negotiated less. And because she stood firm on it and was so confident, I was like, all right, well, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me take on the spirit of like, yeah, this is what it is. And I can deliver on that. Once I'm convinced I can deliver on it. And so we went in there strong and we got what we wanted. And it's happened several times.
I know, but in this season right now with the current price, you felt in your heart of hearts, you prayed about it. And so I have full faith because that's what entrepreneurship is. Yeah. It's a faith walk.
It's a faith walk. It's funny. Yeah, it goes both ways, right? Because there's been times where you've been very like stubborn about pricing and we went with what you did because you felt so strongly about it. Even though I was thinking that maybe we were going to, turn them off and you were right and we nailed it. And then there's this time, the season that we're in now, where I felt very convicted about, what I felt like God told me.
And how can I argue with that?
Exactly. And we did it. And we, like I said, we just came off of one of our best months ever last month. so it's been working, obviously, right? And you weren't sure until you saw the numbers, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, it's working. So but part of that is what happened in that pricing is that we were able to get it to a place where it was just high enough where we were no longer attracting those that weren't for us, right? Ultimately for us. Now, I will say this, and I want to kind of maybe, because people who are listening, especially some of our current clients, some of our clients came to us during that low pricing, and it's been amazing. Like, because during that time, it did bring in some really good clients.
Yeah.
But it also did have some amazing clients. And so shout out to y'all. You know who you guys are. So what we said earlier was not an indication that
you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. We rock with you. But there were definitely some that came in that were not for us. And so with the new pricing, it actually weeded a lot of them out. We don't even get that kind of interest anymore because the pricing is at a place where for those individuals that are in that kind of category, when they see that price, they're not at all. It's outside of their budget. They're just not going to do it. But what we found is, which has been amazing, is that for those who we are meant to serve, the pricing is actually a price that works really well for them and something that they can sustain. It's not just like a price where it's like, they can do it, but only for a few months. We've had clients now that've been with us for years because the pricing works in their entire business, in that we're not necessarily trying to, charge the farm, they gotta oh man, we can only work Panic Commission for like maybe 1 to 2 months because that's all we can afford. No, they can actually afford to really write us into the budget and have it not, impact them in a negative way. And that was something that was a part of our intentionality. And I told you about that. I said, babe, I want to be at a place where obviously we're charging, our margins are good, and they are. We make sure the margins are good. But when things get rough for that business, that client that we're, and they go through their ups and downs, that we're not the first person that they cut.
Right.
Because they can see the value. They get lots of value for what we offer and for what they're paying, right? They're like, man, for this amount, I'm getting a lot in return.
Right.
Right. And even though for some, it may seem high, but for them, they're like, this is a great value. And that's where we want to be, right? Because that helps us with ultimate cash flow, with a lot of other things in terms of predictability every month, knowing that they're not even thinking about canceling because they're like, no, this is my team. We cost less than, definitely someone in-house if you're like in the States.
That's like really endearing too, like to know that we're part of their team.
Exactly.
To know that we're helping them build on their legacy and build something great and, affect change for their target audience.
Absolutely. And because we've been so instrumental in their business, that led to a lot of what really has been the growth engine, if you will, for our business, which has been word of mouth. Right? I mean, we get a lot of our clients from referrals, and that's been something that we've hung our hat on, that we think is amazing for us to be able to proudly say. And we're looking for ways to, fine tune our affiliate program, if you will, or our referral program so that we can incentivize our clients to do it even more. And we have had ones in the past and they went well, but we're still tweaking them to do even more. But that's something that we're super proud of.
Yeah. The fact when somebody refers us, to their friend, it's like they're putting their stamp of approval. It's their word, right? Take me at my word. Panic Commission has got you.
Yeah.
And they'll make you look. You see all this fabulousness I got going on over here?
Yep.
You see me making money. You see me hitting stages. You see me getting all these clients. They can help you.
They can help you. That's right. That's what we do. We help. We help. So, we want, when people think about growth for their business, or think about scaling their business, they often think about, going wide and trying to get as many people as possible. We always think about going deep, right? We always think about how do we get really good at what we're doing and make it even better and better and better, so that we can deepen relationships and, for our clients, help them attract the right people rather than just more people.
So if you want to go deeper with your brand, listen to these words from our sponsor. Be honest. Does your website actually reflect the level of work you do? Or do you quietly pray no one asks you for your link? If your online presence is making you look less professional than you are, it's time for a reset, and we've made it easy. Introducing the Divine Redesign Movement by Panda Commission. For just $100, we'll create a custom mock-up of a premium website or sales funnel. No commitment, no pressure. You'll get a stunning strategic preview of your new site, built by real designers, not cookie-cutter templates. In under a week, you'll know exactly what your brand could look like when it's working for you. If you love it, we build it. If not, you walk away. Simple. But fair warning, your next client is already judging your digital first impression. Don't let outdated design be the thing that costs you the sale. Spots are limited. Claim your $100 mock-up now at mydivineredesign.com. Panda Commission, premium design for your business at every stage. So what does this mean for our listeners who, may not have the hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever? They have a small audience. What does that mean for them?
Yeah, I mean, all of this, like, we're sharing all this just to tell people that, if you got 200 followers and you're not able to sell to them, you getting 2,000 followers is not going to improve your sales. Like, likely, right? I mean, you could get 200,000, and if you can't sell to 200, it's not likely going to pan out well, right? So what we are trying to basically, communicate is that get really good at your small audience before you start building larger. And by the way, like, our goal is not to just serve the few hundred people that we're serving, right? Our dreams and our aspirations are for much more. We have much larger impact than the few hundred people that have become our clients. But it's still crazy to think about. We've had hundreds of clients since we've started, right?
Hundreds of clients and thousands of design requests.
Yes, thousands of thousands of complete designs, hundreds of clients, and we've made millions of dollars. And then at the same time, our follower count has not been much. I mean, it almost feels like everyone who follows us actually is a client of ours. But it's not true. But I mean, it sometimes feels like that. Like, the only time, like, when I post and I get like 20 views, it's like, it does it feel good to get 20 views? No, it doesn't feel good. But what's interesting is that I'll get a DM, or I'll get a booked call, and they refer to that one message that they saw, and it spoke directly to them. So we've gotten really good at our messaging. We've gotten really good at all those things. And so, what we want to communicate to people is that if you dial those things in, you can make money, right? And it takes time, but it's worth it in the end, to have that clarity. Our next thing up is going to be our marketing, right? To get more visibility. That's why we're doing things like this, like the podcast. So if you want to help us out with our visibility and our marketing, share the podcast.
Share, like, comment, tell your friends, tell your cousins.
You know what I'm saying? Spread it around. Exactly. Spread it around. So that's what we're doing. And we're going to more networking events, and we're being more visible, like, locally. And, we're starting to actually look into doing ads, and we're doing ads like at a low level. We're doing ads. But those things are going to continue to build, but we know for sure, because we actually study this and do this, and this is real life for us, is that, the foundation has to be set. We've seen so many people, just flash in the pan, or, they're flashy, but there's no substance. There's no, it's not real. And so we want to build something sustainable, and real. What we would suggest, that people do is, before they, really focus on a whole lot of traffic, is make sure that they know how to convert. You gotta close the people that already know you.
You need the proven offer.
You need a proven offer, right? You need a proven offer. You need the clarity, right? And sometimes, let's help the people out. If they're not sure how to do that, let's say they're listening to us, they're like, okay, Charles, this makes sense, right? Okay, John C., I get it. You're right. I need to focus on, getting my stuff together before I start trying to get everybody to come see my stuff that ain't together. Right? What are some quick tips that we can give them?
Well, use the audience, right? Ask your audience. See what they need. Put some posts out there, send some emails. How can I serve you? What do you need in your business? Do you know what I offer? Maybe they don't even know what you do. They just follow you because
let's hope they do. Come on. Something, a general idea.
But, really dig in and see what their needs are.
Yeah. And we did that, right? If you do you remember that process where we actually went through, like, part of our process of actually getting clarity around our offer was us soliciting the advice and in some of the direction from our clients. We initially decided to come up with an offer by ourselves. Like, we did some research and figured out, okay, this is what we want our offer to be. And then we put it out to our clients as a beta. You remember that?
Yes.
We were like, hey, try this out. We only accepted 5 people. And then we gave them a discount that John C. didn't like. Because we were just trying to figure out if this made sense.
Yeah, because it wasn't like a big campaign or anything like that. It was just like,
if you saw it, you saw it.
If you didn't see it,
yep,
don't hit me up a couple weeks later.
Nope.
Sorry.
Yep. It was really short, and then we just and it was such a amazing offer. It wasn't hard to sell people on it. But because what we wanted, we didn't want them necessarily to get feedback on like the pricing, because we knew that was like not going to be the same. But the offer, as in the experience, as in did it make sense? The clarity, the whole experience, like, the back end, the automation piece. Like we were like, they were our guinea pigs. They're like, does this feel good? Like, is this something?
And they knew it.
And they knew it. And they appreciated it because they got the value from it. They got it at a really discounted price. And they were able to walk away with tangible things that they found valuable. And they also let us know, the feedback. They gave us the feedback to say, hey, this is a great offer. This is a great experience. And of course we said, hey, this normally costs more, And so at some point we were going to charge more. But what we ended up doing for them people, we actually gave them a special kind of deal and said, hey, because you rock with us, we grandfathered you in. And so some of them were able to take advantage of some really great pricing. Some of them never left, right? And some of them did leave, but they knew that, they said it. They said, I know when I come back, that it's going to be at a different price.
Right.
But we were there for the season. We got everything we needed. And now we'll come back when we need you guys again. Yep. But, and they weren't at all like, actually we had people, matter of fact, we had people come back at the new price. We actually had several come back at the new price, and they're not complaining about the new price because they knew what it was and they understand the value is still there. And even at the new price, they're still getting a lot of value. So they're still cool with it. So definitely, I love that tip to ask your audience, ask your followers. And then what I would say to add on to is to get like one offer. Because that's what we did. We said, we got one. Right? We're like, what about this? What about one thing you can do? And we say it like this, we often on discovery calls, we make it real easy for people to work with us. Because we thought through it. And we say, as a matter of fact, I did this not even on a discovery call. I met someone at, I was getting our gear done, and I met someone there who's a business owner, and I was able to pitch our services just by saying we make it real easy for people to work with us. And I explained what I meant by that, and they're like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
It really is kind of easy.
Really kind of easy, right? You can get all this different stuff, and there's just one price. You get 30 days at a time, right? You get as much as you can done. What about this? What about that? We do all that. Can I get it all done in a month? Based on what you said, yes. Or actually, based on that, no, you can't. That would probably take 2 months. Oh, that's not bad. No, it's not. And you keep paying us, and we'll keep working. And what people often find is that once they get started working with us, they'll continue because they're clear on what they're getting. They got the value, right? It's not breaking the bank. And the quality is there. The experience is there. And so there really isn't a reason to stop,
That's what makes it An easy yes.
Yes, especially when they're seeing also the return on their investment.
Mm-hmm.
They're seeing, and we always say there's 3 things that happen when people work with us. Number 1, they get an increased amount of confidence. Increase of brand recognition. That's the first thing that happens. Increase in brand recognition. Why? Because people will notice the glow up. They'll notice that they have a more polished looking brand.
Mm-hmm.
So the design is working. The presentation is different. So they get noticed, right? They're like, oh man, so I'm noticing your brand a little bit more. I'm noticing, the design. I'm noticing, all of you, right? So that's one thing that happens. The second thing is they get an increase in confidence. Why? Because once people start to recognize that you are looking better, they start telling you that you're looking better.
Mm-hmm.
And when people start complimenting you, you start feeling more confident, right? Your shoulders
and confident
get back.
in your pricing.
And you get confident in everything, right? You get confident, your chest out, you're like, yeah, go check out my website.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my branding assets, right? You feeling good about it, right? And, like what Coach Brime says, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they do what?
They pay good.
They pay good, right? So we also notice that people get an increase in revenue because, when you are presenting better and then you are confident, you couple those things together and you charge what you charge, people are more likely to, say yes. And it's similar like with anything in life. If you're dealing with people and you, maybe when you first met them, they were, kind of scruffy. They were kind of unsure about themselves, insecure. And then they asked you if you wanted to try, I don't know, you want to come to my event, my store, my grand opening. People, no, no, get away from me. You look, you look like you ain't serious, right? But turn that around, same person gets cleaned up, looking their best, presenting very well. They're very confident. They speak to you in clarity. Hey, I got this thing that I think you would really enjoy. You should come to it. Here's it. And the flyer looks good. You're like, okay, let me check this out.
Yeah, you look legitimate.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And so we recognize that in-person experiences mirror what happens online. And so if you come like that, oftentimes it leads to an easy yes.
When you show up with all these things, people take notice. They'll treat you differently. They'll have a different experience with you. And, they'll rock with you just like our clients rock with us.
You got to lead with value, right? You got to lead with value. Going viral, being popular, those are all bonuses, right? Those are all things that, would be nice to have. They don't have to happen for you to get paid. And that's what we try to free people, especially a lot of our small business owners, because they think that a lot of the barriers from them getting what they want is like going viral and being popular and getting, more traffic, if you will. Traffic definitely helps. Definitely. You can make a lot of money when you have traffic if you have value, if you actually have the brand, if you actually have the experience and these other things that matter to people. That's how you can actually take advantage of that. And that's all we're trying to say. We're just trying to say, build the foundation, build that brand, focus on conversions, and then bring in the traffic.
So if you want to build value for your brand, hit us up at Panda Commission.
Yeah, so if you want to work with us, we make it super simple. Like I said, you can go to pandacommission.com, learn more about us. We can help you with your branding or your design. And we focus on value. And if anything we said, it makes sense to you, and we're the type of people you want to work with, we love to work with you, because we're about working with people who focus on value, who understand that all that vanity stuff, it is what it is. Those are bonuses. Those are nice to have, but we're really trying to build really good businesses out here and really trying to serve people and have true impact. That's what we're about. You can follow us by going, typing in Panda Commission on any of the social media platforms. We got Instagram, we got Facebook, we got TikTok, and we're on YouTube. If you like this episode, go ahead and subscribe, like the episode, comment. We would love to hear from you. And we'd love to have you a part of our Panda family.
If your content looked as good as your offer. Introducing Panda Market, your new secret weapon for scroll-stopping content. We've got done-for-you Canva templates that are bold, beautiful, and built to convert. No more wrestling with design. Just drag, drop, post, and watch your brand glow up. New templates drop every month, so your content never gets stale. Get yours now at thepandamarket.com. Your feed will thank you.